Welcome back to Building Character, where we figure out how to play as your favorite fictional characters in Dungeons & Dragons. Join the Patreon for these character sheets and a whole bunch more, and like and subscribe for a helping hand next time you play. Maybe. Today we're building Jax and Jacqui Briggs, a father-daughter combo that can also disembowel each other because it's Mortal Kombat. I love watching the intros when you make the father-daughter teams fight. They're like, okay honey, let's do some sparring, and it ends with the daughter pulling the dad's eyes out and eating them or something. These games are silly.
I was a wimp before Anchor Arms. Now I'm a jerk and everybody loves me.
We're gonna start off with Jax. Since Jacqui can't exist without him, that's how parents work. First, we need to be an army man. I'm wrapping the series now. This is the best joke I've ever made. Good night, everyone. Wait, I still need money. Okay, also gun and hot hands. That's actually kind of hard because I'm not putting any monk levels on a dude with heavy metal arms. For stats, we'll be using the standard point array from the player's handbook. Or for stats, if you want, just keep your multi-classing minimums in mind. Strength will be number 1. Your metaphorical guns are literal guns, which means big lifting. Intelligence next, there's like 8 timelines. Jax builds his arms in some of them, but he repairs them in all of them at the very least. Constitution after that, in all timelines, Jax has his arms ripped off and lives. That's tough. Follow that up with dexterity. Sometimes you use a gun you hold in your hand rather than a gun in your hand. That means you have to aim it. Charisma is a bit low. You're a nice guy to be around, but you're not a literal movie star like Johnny, and we'll dump wisdom. We just don't need it for anything. Jax is a human. He gets some metal arms, but that's not enough for me to count him as a warforged, I guess. Maybe if it was his feat. Speaking of feat, the tough feat is simple but effective, giving you 2 HP for every level you get, helping you survive more fatal blows. Bumping your constitution and your strength with your 2 free points. Take history for your skill of choice, and the soldier background for athletics and intimidation. You're an army man after all. It's a pun so nice, I'll use it twice. We'll kick things off as an artificer. You're pretty high tech after all, letting you grab 2 skills from the artificer list, like Arcana and Sleight of Hand. Obviously, you're not going to use any cheap hands that can't do card tricks. You get magical tinkering to put tiny magical effects into tiny non-magical items. Little puffs of smoke, a message of 25 words or less, just a bit of flavor. The cantrips are much more Jax. Firebolt shoots a little ranged spell attack that deals 1d10 fire damage to give yourself a projectile option. Thunderclap forces a constitution saving throw on creatures within 5 feet of you, dealing a d6 of thunder damage to those that fail for a little shockwave by your feet. For your first level spells, we'll just get some basic mobility, jump and long strider, tripling your jump distance or adding 10 feet to your movement speed respectively. We're not really here for the first level stuff. Jax gets going at the second level of Artificer when he gets infusions, special tech to make you better than the other fighters in the tournament. Repeating shot lets you fire a ranged weapon with a +1 to attack and damage rolls. It's magical in terms of overcoming resistances and automatically reloads for you, so you don't have to worry about running out of ammo. Sending stones are fantasy walkie-talkies that you can use to keep in contact with Sonya on a mission, or just like in general, it's important to maintain friendships as you get older. Enhanced weapon adds 1 to the attack and damage rolls of a weapon and makes it magical. This is more of a surprise tool that will help us later, as is enhanced defense, letting you add 1 to the AC of a set of armor that you don't really wear, unless you'd call your arms armor. That would be silly. Third level artificers can be armorers. Call your arms armor with arcane armor, letting you build some armor that replaces any missing limbs for some heavy metal arms. You can choose an armor model like Guardian to give you a simple melee weapon that deals 1d8 thunder damage on a hit and gives creatures you hit disadvantage on attack rolls against creatures who aren't you. Typically, you find yourself in one-on-one fights where you can only move in 2 directions, but when you do get to team up with someone, you tend to draw fire. You're a nice guy. You also get to give yourself temporary HP equal to your artificer level as a bonus action, an amount of times per long rest equal to your proficiency bonus, making you even thicker than you already were. You also get armor or exclusive spells like Thunderwave, forcing a constitution saving throw on creatures in a 15-foot cube in front of you, dealing 2d8 thunder damage to those that fail and pushing them back 10 feet, half damage to those that succeed and they aren't pushed. Obviously, you want to get people back into the corner, then hammer away with your anchor arms. 4th level artificers get an ability score improvement. Will actually go for strength, even though artificer is supposed to be an intelligence class. It's not going to be our main class. We just need to stick with it for a while. At home, feel free to mix in the other class earlier, or just do whatever you want. I'm not your god. 5th level armorers get an extra attack, letting you make 2 attacks with your action instead of 1 for 2 big gauntlet kabooms. You also get 2nd level spells like Shatter, forcing a constitution saving throw on creatures in a 10-foot radius, dealing 3d8 thunder damage to those that fail for a bigger concussive blast. If a creature is made of inorganic material, they'll have have disadvantage on the saving throws, so Garrus, Cyrax, and Optimus Prime will all get blasted extra hard by this. Eventually, Optimus Prime will get added to Mortal Kombat. It's gonna be rad, trust me. 6th level artificers get tool expertise, giving you expertise with the tools you're proficient with, like tinkerers, thieves, smiths, and one of your choice. I think when you're testing a prosthesis, a lot of people want to test handwriting, so how about calligraphy? You also get 2 more infusions. Spell Refueling Ring will let you recover a spell slot of 3rd level or lower once per day. It will obviously get more useful when we get 3rd level spells. Armor of Magical Strength lets you add your intelligence modifier to your strength checks with a d6 of charges per day. You can also resist getting knocked prone with those charges as well if you'd rather use it to break a combo. 7th level artificers get Flash of Genius, letting you add your intelligence modifier to a skill check or saving throw of a creature within 30 feet of you an amount of times per day equal to your intelligence modifier, helping you keep your buddies alive longer in the murder tournament. Or your daughter now. Maybe discourage her from joining the murder tournament. Earthrealm is great and all, but the Briggs family has done their part. 8th level artificers get another ability score improvement, letting you cap off your strength modifier for the biggest punches possible. I just wish we could make the punches fiery. 9th level artificers can make the punches fiery with 3rd level spells, like Elemental Weapon, letting you add 1 to the attack rolls of a weapon and a d4 of acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage. Your punches were already dealing thunder damage, but the fire will let them heat up as you punch for an hour, depending on your concentration. Normally, you couldn't use this for unarmed attacks, but with the simple melee weapon of Thunder Gauntlets, boom, we have fire punches without being a monk. I'm pretty good at this. You also get armor modifications, letting you treat your arcane armor as multiple pieces for your infusions, and you can infuse 2 more pieces as long as they're a part of your armor. So enhanced weapon and enhanced defense, sending stones, repeating shot, and spell refueling ring for an extra elemental weapon are all a go. And we better multi-class now if Artificer isn't going to be our main class since we're at level 9. Fighters get a fighting style. Archery will let you add 2 to your attack rolls with ranged weapons to help make up for your low dexterity if you want to shoot stuff. I don't want unarmed fighting because your gauntlets already sort of handle that, so we don't need it. Thunder is better than bludgeoning. You also get Second Wind, letting you heal 1d10 plus your fighter level as a bonus action once per short rest, helping you get ready for round 2 with some quick repairs. 2nd level fighters get Action Surge, letting you make 2 actions in 1 turn once per short rest. That's 4 attacks in the same round, letting you get a nice combo going. 3rd level fighters can choose a fighting style. Battle Masters are great at hitting harder, giving you 4 d8 superiority die you can spend on 3 maneuvers. Pushing attack lets you force a strength saving throw on a creature, failing that they're pushed back 15 feet. Tripping attack forces a strength saving throw on a creature, failing that they're knocked prone, giving you advantage on melee attacks against them. And Repose lets you make an opportunity attack after a creature misses you with an attack. All of these let you add your d8 to the damage for some big old punch-a-rooskies. You're also a student of war, giving you proficiency with a set of artisan's tools. Musical instruments aren't artisan's tools, so I can't give you a saxophone, but it should be a saxophone, and musical instruments should be artisan's tools, so I'm not doing anything else out of spite. 4th level fighters get an ability score improvement, bump your intelligence for harder saving throws on your big boom shoots. 5th level fighters get nothing because extra attacks don't stack. I'm bad at my job. We're sticking with fighter for more ability score improvements, like the 6th level fighter, which gets an ability score improvement. More intelligence means harder saving throws. I said that like 10 seconds ago. 7th level battle masters can know their enemy, letting you know a creature's strength, dexterity, constitution, HP, AC, fighter levels, or total levels after a minute of study. You get 2 pieces of information and know if you're worse, better than, or equal to the creature in those regards. A good soldier always knows what they're getting themselves into. You also get another superiority die and another pair of maneuvers to spend them on. Grappling strike lets you grapple a creature as a bonus action and add the d8 to the grapple check, hold someone and push them into a corner for some combos, but spell that combo with a K, obviously. Precision attack lets you add your superiority die to the attack roll instead. Make sure you land the punch when you really need to. 8th level fighters get another ability score improvement, cap off that intelligence for the best shockwaves possible. I'm a dirty projectile spammer, love those projectiles. 9th level fighters get Indomitable, letting you re-roll a failed saving throw once per long rest. If your arms can heat up enough to burn people, it would be kinda silly for you to die in a fireball. 10th level battle masters get improved combat superiority, pumping your superiority die to d10s, and of course giving you 2 more maneuvers to spend them on. Lunging attack adds 5 feet to the range of a melee attack, and feigning attack lets you fake your opponent out to give yourself advantage as a bonus action. Add a d10 to the damage of both of those attacks. Honestly, you have a lot of moves to learn, but if you're playing a fighting game, I'm guessing you're okay with that. Our capstone is the 11th level of fighter for another extra attack. That's 3 attacks with your regular turns and up to 6 attacks with an action surge. We're gonna do some damage calculus in the pros section, so let's just jump in there. Now that we've hit level 20, let's figure out how viable this build is. First, you're dealing nice and consistent damage with 3d8 plus 18 thunder damage plus 3d4 fire damage in a single round. But that doesn't mean you're not able to put out the big damage, doubling the standard round damage and adding 5d10 extra thunder damage from your superiority die, meaning 97 total damage with median rolls. That's pretty tasty. Finally, you're a really solid tank with nearly 200 HP, the ability to give yourself 9 temporary HP 6 times a day as a bonus action to round that up even higher, not to mention your heavy arm aura giving you a base 19 AC. For weaknesses, you're missing out on some tasty stuff from higher levels of Artificer, like fully broken character goodness. The extra attacks also don't stack, at least at the 5th level, and taking a level without getting anything except more hit die is a bit of a bummer. Finally, you can spend all your superiority die in one round. It's going to be a fun round, but round 2, you're going to have to play slow and steady. Thankfully, you're pretty good at playing slow and steady. Fighter is a really good class with some weaknesses that get covered by Artificer. If you want to be a badass tech soldier, this is a really solid base to start from. But hopefully, the next generation will be even better.
Look at them legs! Look at them legs! They're amazing! Look at them legs!
Let's start off with our goals for this build. First, we need to fight really good. Obviously, the kid of one of Earthrealm's greatest champions is going to be able to hold her own. Next, we need technology. I guess biometric enhancements also run in the family. Finally, we need some military ordnance. Turns out punching otherworldly evils might not be as effective as just shooting a missile at them. For stats, we'll be using the standard point buy. Roll for stats if you want, just make sure you're keeping your multiclassing minimums in mind. Put your dexterity and intelligence at 14. You're more speedy than your dad, but you still use high-tech arms or legs in your case. Wisdom at 13, lots of ninjas in Mortal Kombat. High passive perception will stop them from killing you. Constitution at 12, that will also stop them from killing you, just because you'll have more health. We'll let strength and charisma hang out at 10. You're in good shape and you're likable. We just don't need those stats as much as we need the other stuff. Jacqui is a punk, Judy is a runt. They both went down to Berlin, joined the Ice Capades. Sorry, that's the wrong script. Jacqui is a human, a military human. Pretty much the least punk thing you can do. It's so unpunk, it's inhuman, and that's why we're going custom lineage instead. We'll grab the tough feat, 2 more HP for every level you get, less dying in the murder game. It's what we need. Pump your dexterity with your 2 free points. That's why we went custom lineage for 2 points instead of +1 to 2 different stats. Grab acrobatics for your skill of choice and the soldier background for athletics and intimidation. If it wasn't clear, you and Jax have a lot in common. Also you and Sonya, but I haven't built Sonya yet. We'll kick things off as a fighter. You were in a martial arts tournament before you got the techie stuff. That will let you grab 2 skills from the fighter list, like history and perception skills, to remember all that complicated lore and prevent the camo chameleons from getting the drop on you. Unarmed fighting is a nice fighting style for people who fight unarmed, letting you deal 1d6 with your unarmed attacks, 1d8 when you have 2 free hands, and 1d4 to a creature you have grappled once per turn. It hasn't changed since your dad did it in the 80s. Turns out punching and grappling never goes out of style. Why did I say that? I didn't give Jax unarmed fighting. You also get second wind, letting you recover 1d10 plus your fighter level as a bonus action once per short rest. I'm sure you've got some combat medicine training, even though we didn't grab the medicine skill. You don't need it. Any injuries in your universe are fatal. I'm multiclassing to monk right away because I have no self-control. It'll give you martial arts to make your unarmed attacks with your dexterity, so now they won't be bad. You might think that jumping over here now slows us down on the path to extra attack, but with martial arts, you can make an unarmed attack as a bonus action after you attack once with your action. Other than a second wind, you don't have a thing to use your bonus action on, so this will get you a combo game at level 2. Of course, you can't be wearing armor while you're using martial arts. Thankfully, Jacqui keeps it light with unarmored defense, making your AC 10 plus your dexterity and wisdom modifiers when you're not wearing armor. That's pretty comparable to padded leather at this point, but it will get better later. Most things get better later. That's how leveling up works. That's actually the only monk level we need. So now back over to fighter for action surge, letting you make 2 actions in 1 turn once per short rest. That's 3 attacks in 1 round. The only other way to do that would be to take 2 levels of monk, and you could do it more often too. But then we couldn't grab a martial archetype from the 3rd level of fighter, like champion, to get improved critical, which lets you critically hit on a 19 or a 20, making the camera zoom in and do that cool x-ray thing. 4th level fighters get an ability score improvement. Use yours to bump your dexterity up to punch better, while also avoiding other punches better. Also knives and fireballs, lots of knives and fireballs in the murder tournament. 5th level fighters get an extra attack or 4 attacks with your action surge, 5 with your bonus action attack after that. You might not hit as hard as old metal arms, but you can hit faster. And actually, at the 6th level of fighter, you can use your ability score improvement to cap off your dexterity modifier, then hit just as hard as Papa Platinum Punchers. That's a much better name than old metal arms. Glad I did the revision. But if the baddies get to bring fire, ice, bees, and missiles to the fight, you're not gonna win with punching. So we're gonna jump over to wizard for some more firepower, literal firepower from cantrips like Firebolt that deal 2d10 fire damage with a ranged spell attack if you want a tiny missile. Thunderclap forces a constitution saving throw on creatures within 5 feet of you, dealing 2d6 thunder damage to those that fail for a Briggs shockwave technique. And Shocking Grasp is a melee spell attack that deals 2d8 lightning damage and prevents the target from taking reactions. It's supposed to be a grasp, but I think reflavoring it as a lightning kick isn't all that out of left field. But if you want to be left on the field, as in not dead, That's a bad segue. Mage armor makes your AC 13 plus your dexterity modifier when you're not wearing armor. I'm not saying this stacks with unarmored defense. I'm not saying this stacks with unarmored defense. Hey, really clear, not saying this stacks with unarmored defense. Just want to make sure it's very understood that I'm not saying that this stacks with unarmored defense. It's just better because now we don't have to invest in wisdom for better AC. It doesn't stack with unarmored defense, actually. It doesn't stack with unarmored defense. Doesn't stack with unarmored defense. Shield will also help you be better by adding 5 to your AC as a reaction when you're attacked, burning a little meter to avoid some incoming fire. Jump triples a creature's jump distance for a minute if you want some cybernetic jumps to take you off the screen. Magic Missile fires 3 darts that deal 1d4 plus 1 force damage each and automatically hit if you just want a safe option to spam from the back. Thunder Wave forces a Constitution saving throw on creatures in a 15-foot cube in front of you, dealing 2d8 thunder damage and pushing them back 10 feet if they fail, half damage and no pushing if they succeed. Remember, get people in the corner and never let them out. Finally, Witch Bolt lets you fire a ranged spell attack that deals 1d12 lightning damage every round for a minute depending on your concentration, letting you keep that pressure up. Wizards also get Arcane Recovery, letting you recover half your wizard level in spell slots on a short rest, restoring your meter a bit before round 2. Second level wizards can choose a school, and you joined the military right away, so I'll call that War Magic. That gives you Tactical Wit, letting you add your intelligence modifier to your initiative rolls, pairing with your cap dexterity modifier, you get the first hit every time. You also get Arcane Deflection to add 2 to your AC, or 4 to a saving throw as a reaction, though you can only cast cantrips until the end of your next turn after that. Since you're actually better with punching, that's basically just a consistent buff. For this level's spells, let's just get a bit of mobility with Long Strider to run 10 feet faster, and Expeditious Retreat to let you dash as a bonus action for up to 10 minutes depending on your concentration. If you play like me, you're going to hold forward a lot, you're also going to lose a lot. I'm not very good at fighting games. Third level wizards can learn second level spells. Shatter is a bigger shockwave, forcing a Constitution saving throw on creatures in a 10-foot radius, dealing 3d8 thunder damage to those that fail, half as much to those that succeed. Remember, this will also give inorganic creatures disadvantage on the saving throw to nail the Terminator and Robocop, who are also here for some reason. Scorching Ray lets you burn some meter to burn people with 3 rapid fire fireballs that deal 2d6 fire damage each. You can aim them at one creature or multiple in your line of work. I'd assume it will be one, because your line of work is fighting people in a straight line. Fourth level wizards get an ability score improvement. Let's start working on our intelligence for better living through technology and better killing. Speaking of enhancements, Enhance Ability gives a creature advantage on ability checks of a certain type. If you choose Strength, they also double their carrying capacity. If you choose Dexterity, they don't take falling damage from heights of 20 feet or less. And if you choose Constitution, they get 2d6 temporary HP. However you use your bio enhancers, they last for an hour depending on your concentration. Dark Vision lets you see in the dark with your bad human eyes for up to 8 hours, no concentration required. It's pretty simple night vision. Fifth level wizards can learn third level spells, also known as all the cool spells. Haste doubles a creature's movement speed, adds 2 to their AC, gives them advantage on dexterity saving throws, and an extra action to dash, disengage, hide, use an object, or make one more attack for a standard 4-hit combo every single round. It lasts for a minute depending on your concentration. After that, you have to take a round off of actions and reactions, but most Mortal Kombat matches don't go to time anyway. Fireball lets you force a dexterity saving throw on creatures in a 20-foot radius, dealing 8d6 fire damage to those that fail, half as much to those that succeed. I wouldn't recommend a missile on Scorpion or Sub-Zero, but this should roast Goro pretty well. 6th level war wizards get Power Surge, letting you add half your wizard level in force damage to a spell per round. You can do this once per day for free, but get more charges by shutting down spells with Counterspell. Counterspell is a spell that shuts down other spells of 3rd level or lower automatically, and higher level spells with an intelligence check of 10 plus the spell's level. You're great at setting up barriers to keep enemy attacks from coming in, redirect that damage for a tasty punish. For your other spell, Sending lets you send a message to a creature somewhere on the same plane as you or on another plane with a 5% failure rate. Rain might just be in the God Shower. That's a shower for gods. 7th level wizards can learn 4th level spells. We'll get some more defensive options here. Stone Skin gives a creature resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage for up to an hour depending on your concentration. Most enemies will be using magical attacks at this point in this tournament, but there's still quite a few folks just punching and stabbing. Hotiluk's Resilience Sphere will create a nice bubble for you that keeps all damage from going in or coming out. Sometimes you just need to throw up a force field and regroup. 8th level wizards get another ability score improvement. Keep pushing your intelligence modifier higher. We only want the best tech. Fabricate will let you make anything you need out of raw materials, large or smaller if it's made out of wood, or medium or smaller if it's made out of stone. Tongues is a 3rd level spell that lets you speak any language and communicate with a creature that speaks at least one language. Hiring a translator in Outworld is difficult. Instead, just build a universal translator. 9th level wizards can learn 5th level spells. Wall of Force is why I decided to go wizard, since it will make a Wall of Force better than any other spell. You can make a hemispherical dome with a 10-foot radius, or connect 10 by 10-foot panels of force. Nothing can get through it, not even things on the ethereal plane. Dispel magic can't get rid of it, only a disintegrate spell would do that. Otherwise, it just stays up for 10 minutes depending on your concentration. I'm trying to come up with a joke about force fields, but I don't want to force it. Telepathic Bond puts 8 willing creatures in constant communication with each other, so you can get Takeda, Cassie, Kate, Billy, Kamala, Miles, and Amadeus in the group chat. 10th level War Mages get durable magic, adding 2 to your AC while you're concentrating on a spell. With haste and mage armor up, that means you've got a base 22 AC, or 24 with arcane deflection, or 27 with a shield spell if you're okay dropping slots. For saving throws, you basically have +6 with durable magic and arcane deflection. I said I was going to try and make you better than your dad. This is a big step in that direction. To be better outside of combat, skill empowerment gives a creature expertise in a skill they're already proficient with, doubling their proficiency bonus. You could use it to help the rest of the Young Avengers, or just make yourself cooler for an hour. Legend lore lets you dive into the Mortal Kombat wiki, learning more about a person, place, or thing of legendary renown. The more you already know about them, the more information you get. Hey, DMs, don't be stingy with this. Give them all the weird, complicated Netherrealm lore they are craving. 11th level wizards get a 6th level spell, and I think we should just add some oomph to all of your kicks with Tensor's Transformation, giving you 50 temporary HP, adding 2d12 damage to your weapon attacks, which includes your unarmed attacks, gives you advantage on attacks you make with weapons, which doesn't include your unarmed attacks, and some other stuff you already got from Fighter. Oh, it also gives you +2 to your AC and saving throws for 10 minutes depending on your concentration, since you're a War Mage. You won't be able to cast any other spells when this is up, but why would you need to? Just kick people with super legs. When it ends, you have to make a DC 15 Constitution saving throw, so an 8 or higher, or you suffer a level of exhaustion. I imagine needing a nap is a pretty solid end to a Mortal Kombat tournament, considering how poorly it could have gone. Contingency lets you cast a spell of 5th level or lower to activate sometime in the next 10 days automatically, letting you save a spell slot tomorrow by casting Mage Armor, Haste, or something like that today. We'll round this off with 2 more fighter levels. 7th level champions are remarkable athletes, letting you add half your proficiency bonus to strength, dexterity, or constitution checks you're not proficient with. That includes initiative rolls, so you will definitely be first in initiative order. Well, not definitely, but like very likely. Our capstone is the 8th level fighter for 1 last ability score improvement, cap off your intelligence for the best missiles the US military can buy. So the best missiles, they're spending a lot more money on missiles than anyone else. Now that we've hit level 20, let's figure out how viable this build is. First, you are defensively stacked, with War Mage pairing with your high dexterity to give you some very solid AC and saving throws. You're also dealing consistent damage with combo strings from Haste, heavy combos with Tensors, or just fireballs if you want to spam projectiles. Finally, you've got a lot of abilities to help the team: communication, defense, ability support. You're there for your pals when they need you. For weaknesses, a bunch of your best spells are concentration, and you can only have 1 spell up at a time. You also have to pick and choose how you're going to use your reaction, with shield, arcane deflection, and an opportunity attack all occupying the same space. Finally, no calligraphy. Terrible build. That was a joke. This is a great build. I kind of power built Jacqui to be an upgraded version of Jax, and she's just not bad at anything. Make your dad proud, make your daughter proud, just be a big happy family in general. Hopefully you don't end up having to fight each other though. Family fatalities are always a bummer. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe for more. We're making double videos every day this month. Join the Patreon for these sheets and a whole bunch more, and sub to Tulok and Mango for more Tulok fun.